Welcome YouTube. This is Emperor Dion. I'm here. Oh my god, look at this. Look how deep this snow is. Yeesh. Anyways, today's topic, I'm going to be piggybacking off of yesterday's topic, which is basically, we had a discussion in the comment section here about the reasons why black folks aren't in the position they need to be in. Oh, why black folks can't do, why black folks can't achieve, why Africa's fucked up, yada yada. We had a discussion in the comment section about this stuff. And you know, I know the history, I know what happened, but what I'm getting at when I talk about these subjects is that, guys, it doesn't really matter what happened. Like, yeah, the CIA did X, Y, and Z. Oh yeah, they put cocaine in the hood. Oh yeah, they did this and that. Whatever. None of that stuff matters, guys. What matters is that, okay, when other groups of people look at us, they see, oh, you didn't achieve, you didn't do this, so you didn't, you know, that's what people see. So they're judging us off of that. So it doesn't matter what happened. What matters is that we didn't do. So we don't have the power, we don't have the means and the resources to act and coordinate with our group, and other people these days are going to coordinate with their groups. That's what's happening. Like, this whole thing about the racial order is breaking down to where people are becoming tribalistic now. So guys, it's not gonna matter. Like, nobody gives a hot damn what your ancestors did. Nobody gives a hot damn about, oh, the black achievements, like what we did culturally, oh, the music we made. Nobody's gonna care about that shit, because what's happening is that immigrants from all kinds of backwards places in the world are coming in here, and now these guys, they're not wasting time like black folks did. They're not wasting time. They getting into government offices, they taking high levels of corporate positions, they're becoming CEOs, they running HOAs, they're changing laws, and they're benefiting their people. That's what's happening right now, guys. So a lot of that hard racist shit that you guys have read about in history books, yeah, no, the rest of the world is on that type of time. They're, especially these Indians, you know, they're damn near taking over whole states right now. Walk in any gas station in America, who the fuck is running it? Some goddamn Indians. And you know, so like, I'm saying this because the shit's getting serious. Black folks are gonna start suffering the consequences of, oh, your ancestors, for whatever reason, failed to achieve. I don't care what the reason was. What matters is that your ancestors failed. Your people now are failing currently. And let's just make this clear. You know, I don't give a hot damn about racial politics. I don't care about black people. I don't care about my identity as a black man or nothing like this. I only care about it insofar as that other people look at me and identify me as such. Okay, yeah, you identify me as a black person, so I have to care about it to that extent. I only care about it up to the extent that I've got to defend myself from whatever someone may take of that. That's the only extent that I care about it to, because I don't view the world in terms of race. I think that's despicable. I think that's fucked up. I think everybody, you know, regardless of their racial background, is similar enough to each other to where these groups kind of don't matter or mean a whole lot. Really what matters is the culture, the actual culture that you have. But okay, let's getting ahead of ourselves here with my ideas about it. I don't care, because I am monastic, okay? And within my monastic order and within my flock, we don't need to care about what race somebody is or whatever like this. Like, I don't care. And I'm not affected by many of the things that most black folks are affected by anyway. I'm not affected by these things, so I don't even need to care. But what I do care about, okay, for those of you who do care about these things, well, I'm telling you, people are looking at Africa. Oh, you didn't do anything here. Oh, we don't care why they didn't do. The fact is, they didn't do. This is what people see. Okay, and like as far as like black people in America, these Indians and all these other immigrant groups, these Somalis, all these other people. Oh no, like this whole rhetoric about people of color, they don't see it that way, sir. They don't like you. As a matter of fact, they like the colonizer way more than they like you. No, that's what it is. Like, you guys are gonna get a dose of reality about how the rest of the world thinks. And it's really kind of sad. It's like seeing a bunch of baby seals get murdered by a bunch of drunken sailors. Because black Americans are very perplexed and they don't understand the way the rest of the world views these things. But they're gonna find out the hard way once all these immigrants, you know, these immigrants, funny enough, are way bigger of a threat to you guys than any white person is. Although the whites are starting to group up and become a bit more like that too, aka the groypers. So, but I'm telling you, these immigrants are going to be a way bigger threat to you black Americans than any of these white people are ever were or ever would be. I do strongly believe that. And you know, these immigrants, they've shown their hand already well enough. Okay, like a lot of them don't even know that you're native to America. Yeah, they don't even know that black Americans been here. They think y'all are immigrants just like they are. Just to give you an idea of just how much, of just how little they think of y'all and regard y'all. So most of y'all's problems are going to come from this direction. And yeah, you're going to face institutional racism. Like, I know it was a whole thing, black people were talking about fighting against systemic racism. Oh no, y'all gonna get some systemic racism on a level that y'all weren't prepared for, because in case you haven't noticed, a lot of these different places in the world, they have caste systems where they treat their people so fucked up. Like, they shitting in these people's water, they locking them out of institutions, they prostituting them, they raping them. Oh yeah, you're gonna experience racism beyond anything you've read about in history. So I just hope you're aware. You know, it doesn't matter what happened to us. It doesn't matter what happened in Africa. It doesn't matter what went on with black folks and why black folks failed to achieve in America, which, by the way, I don't believe a lot of that stuff anyway. It doesn't matter. What matters is that when people look at us, they see a group of people that failed to achieve, so, oh, we just gonna run up in here, take their shit, kick them out of their own neighborhood, and that's just gonna be that. And so with that being said, you know, that's all I got to say about it. So, anyways, let me get out of this fucking cold. This has been Emperor D on a Lion. You know, you guys need to wake up. You need to start grouping up with somebody, or else y'all gonna, like, black folks are gonna get, I don't know, I'm really kind of scared to see what's gonna happen to black folks going forward. I really am. It's not gonna happen to me. You know, you can't touch me, because the way I move, you're not gonna be able to touch me with nonsense like that. But I'm really kind of scared to see what ultimately happens to most black folks. And you guys are so unaware about many of these things. But anyways, let me go. You know what? The only realistic chance that America has at fighting against the whole immigrant thing is if all of the Native American citizens start working together. But as I'm seeing, based on what's going on right now, as I'm seeing it, America is proving why it is wholly unworthy of myself. It is proving that it is unworthy of myself, me, because America is proving that, you know, with what a lot of white folks are doing now, like they'd rather fight and continue hating black people rather than thinking about, hey, let's focus on like actual U.S. citizens here. Let's focus on like people who are actually born here and got family here, and let's get these fucking immigrants out. Yeah, I know, like, cause it kind of doesn't make any sense with the whole immigrant influx that you've basically got the barbarian horde flooding into the Roman Empire. Is what's going on here. It doesn't make much sense for, while that's happening, for you to further divide yourself along racial lines, which is a fight you're not going to win, by the way. You're not going to win that because you're not having enough kids to win that. No, you need the bulk of numbers while you've still got the numbers. Because the native U.S. citizens that actually have family here, they're not going to have numbers going forward. Eventually, that's going to die down. Eventually, those migrants and those immigrants are going to replace you. They are going to outnumber you. They just are. Now, it's a bit more complicated than that. It's not exactly going to happen so quickly. But the point still stands that native U.S. citizens who actually have a history here, like your power, your influence, your stake, your ownership of your own land is receding. And what's preceding, what is progressing, it's the interests of a completely foreign and alien people who do not understand nor respect your culture, because as far as they're concerned, your culture allowed them to come into your country and do what they're currently doing. So why would they respect you? Their country would never allow you to go over to their country and do that, you know? So why would they respect you? Why would they respect us? But instead of recognizing the numerical game here and recognizing the actual whatever. This is why I don't care about this stuff, guys. It's because you guys are so far from what actually needs to happen to the point where it's like, okay, I don't care what y'all do. I'm just going to focus on me and mine and those who are with me. I'm going to focus on my flock. I'm going to focus on my society, not your society, because I think larger society is fucked even without a lot of the things that are happening. But I give my input on these things, and my input is that listen here and listen good, because if you're truly America first, this is how you would do it. You stop hating on black people so much. You stop hating on all these various groups of people that are not white, pretty much, that actually have ancestry here in this country. You'd be like, okay, let's set aside these differences and let's make a unified front so that the representative, because we have a representative government, by the way. You guys have a representative government. Let's make a unified block of as many people that fit this category as possible, of people who actually have ancestry here. And then, hey, let's push our interests forward as a block. No, instead, you got racist motherfuckers on the internet talk about, so we need to stand up for white people. Well, sir, white people aren't having enough kids, and that's not enough of you guys on your own. Okay, so you're antagonizing black people. You're antagonizing anybody else that happens to have ancestry here. What sense does that make? And also, the other side that wants the immigrants here, they could just be like, oh, you guys are just a bunch of racists. So they can easily just... So that's why what the Groypers are doing and like what all these conservatives are doing, that shit's not going to work. Their best outcome, their best chance would have been if they would have teamed up with black folks like, hey, we may not like your community so much, but we recognize that you actually do belong here. You actually got a stake in the system as much as we do. So let's put aside these differences for a second and let's rally against it. Nope. That's not what's happening. You know, that is why, you know, things, I really honestly don't care what happens to America, because America proved itself, American citizens proved themselves even in a time of crisis where the barbarians are in the gate and they're taking your government offices and they're running your gas stations and they're running all your businesses and they're taking all your high-level corporate positions and they're taking all your jobs too. America proves itself even in an environment that, oh, racism is still more important than our shared future as a nation with the American identity that we are familiar with. Yeah, not like America would rather go down to the barbarian horde than to drop racism. And you know, America was built on racism too. So is it really surprising? I guess I should say it's not surprising, but it is rather disappointing and disheartening. But I'll be okay. I'll be okay. That's fine. Because evil deserves its fate. So, at the end of the day, I do not care about the immigration issue, but my opinion is that it is a net negative for America, and it should be dealt with, but because America and Americans would rather be racist than do the absolute maximum thing they would need to do to deal with this, yeah, they'd rather hold on to that than to whatever. So, anyways, and when it comes to black people, like I said, black people are totally perplexed, not at all understanding the severity of what's happening, and it's honestly going to be quite cruel what happens to a lot of black folks in America. I mean, not even just in America. I think the West collectively, black folks have been very well integrated into the Western experiment, enough so I'd say, but none of that's going to matter. Their contributions are going to be all for naught. Their ancestors' efforts are going to be all for naught. Their children are going to live in a world that is totally unsafe to them. And it's not going to matter because black folks aren't prepared to have the type of conversations necessary to deal with it either. Just like the white people aren't prepared to drop racism to deal with it, black folks aren't mature enough as a group to have an adult conversation about these things and to address these problems as they're coming. No, black folks don't even understand that just because these people are not white, that they are definitely not on your side. As a matter of fact, white people, they've done their fair share of things against you, but they still are not on the same level as many of these immigrants are on in their own countries, because in their countries where they come from, and they're bringing that culture with them, because they're not assimilating into American culture, by the way. No, where they come from, there is no such thing as racial equality, anti-discrimination laws, or any of this shit that allows you access to systems. And you do have access to systems, black folks, in America. You do. A lot of y'all like to play the victim game and say you don't, but you do. It's just for one reason or another, y'all don't want to stop smoking dope or doing weed or any other type of childish shit y'all be on. Y'all have access to upward mobility where y'all used to. That's just going to go away. Like I said, once these immigrants gain the control and they change the culture through force of numbers, it's rapidly getting there too. It is rapidly getting there. Once they do that, oh my God, I don't know what to say. I really kind of don't want to see it. I'm going to have to turn my head away from it and stop paying attention to what's going on in America, because I'll be long gone out of America by the time that shit starts going down. Maybe I'll still hold an eye out and make sure my mother isn't going to be affected by this stuff too. But I think she'll be okay. My mother's pretty smart. And I don't care about anybody else in my family, so. But the rest of y'all, it's not going to be pretty at all. And, well, these immigrants too, they're not going to bother reading a history book or learn about the fact that black Americans were actually pretty influential to America and its progress in various ways. They're not going to care about any of that shit. No, all of it's going to be reduced down to you're just a low IQ African, and we're going to lock you out of society and all those opportunities until your population ceases to exist near us. And so with that being said, that got dark pretty quick, but that's what's coming, guys. And you've been warned. I am the harbinger of doom when it comes to this. I am a doom prophet to you guys, especially when I talk about anything regarding black people, because the fact of the matter is black people dropped the ball on so many things to the point where I don't think it's recoverable. And it behooves you, if you're a black man that's at all a capable, productive guy, you need to find you a woman of a different race and get the fuck out of here. Honest to God truth. And you need to learn another language too. Something other than English. So, anyways, I will cut it short here. This has been Emperor Dion a Lion, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.